Grand Rising, everyone. My name is Reverend Jerry Habari. I serve as the spiritual director of Spiritual Enlightenment and Truth Focus Ministry, and we welcome all of you, our Prayerful Heart consciousness holders, as we continue the sacred journey through Kwanzaa. And as we gather today, we begin in the spirit of Harambee, a time of learning, reflection, and pulling together as a community. So we ask, Habari gani. The word of the day is Ujamaa, which means Cooperative Economics. Ujamaa invites us to be mindful of how we circulate our time, our talents, and our resources and our love. It calls for us to support one another intentionally, to build together, and to recognize that prosperity is not meant to be hoarded, but to be shared in ways that uplift the whole. This principle reminds us that spiritual practice is not separate from how we give and support one another. It is woven directly into how we choose to show up in a community and care for one another's well-being. So today, I will offer a prayer centered around Ujamaa, holding the intention of shared prosperity, conscious stewardship, and collective care. So let us just center right now as we move into this sacred space. And as we move into this sacred space right here, right now, we simply breathe. And as we're breathing into this space, we breathe into a space of unconditional love. We breathe into the space knowing that the power of the great essence of life fulfills itself. It is enriching. It is inspiring. It is that divine light that shines brightly. And I'm acknowledging this light right now, right where I am. I'm acknowledging it as the light that is alive within anyone that comes into contact with this prayer. I know that we are all lifted up to the Most High, and that the energy of Ubuntu, that energy of working and pulling together as a collective and fulfilling that collective initiative in the way we show up, how we express, and how we walk this thing called life. So I speak my word this evening, knowing this truth and beholding the presence, and knowing that something new has already ignited itself. The newness is the remembrance that the presence is alive everywhere. And in celebration of this presence being alive, we celebrate with gratitude. We celebrate in this space of consciously giving, consciously supporting, consciously directing our attention for good in the direction of the gift and the reception of receiving. So in this space right here, right now, I'm affirming this presence, and I acknowledge this presence as divine light. I'm acknowledging it as divine love. I'm acknowledging with the spirit of gratitude. So I'm giving thanks for everyone that contributes and supports the well-being of this ministry. I'm giving thanks for the inspired thoughts that have unfolded and everyone that is given of their time, given of their treasures to support the expansion and the growth of this ministry. And I hear these words, all things work together for good for those that love the lordly presence. So this practice of the presence and acknowledging the presence within this ministry has sustained it. And likewise, I'm acknowledging that same presence mirroring and reflecting itself for each individual that is a part of this ministry. I know that the divine law of circulation fulfills itself in grand ways, that good shows up through expected channels and unexpected channels of supply. I know that there is a practicality in it, And I'm giving thanks for this wonderful overflowing presence of wealth, of abundance, of perfect health. I'm giving thanks for the creative ideas, the flooding of the imagination, the abundance of all relationships, the grace of God fulfilled, bringing peace and harmony. And so as I speak my word right here, right now, I know that by the power of my word, grandness and great things are unfolding. And what I'm knowing is too, there is a conscious awakening, a conscious movement, a conscious expression of good everywhere, in particular in the areas of interest, in the area where grace continues to show up and support us. So I honor this thing we call the divine law, the law of prosperity, the law of circulation, the law which is blessings, unfolding as a result of our attention, as a result of our awareness, and as a result of the collective good. So what I'm knowing is in this very moment, practical things show up all around us in our sacred space as good. I'm acknowledging it as the divine blessing in every experience. So knowing this richness right here, right now, I take this moment to name it as perfect wholeness within our bodies, within every cell. I call it perfect health. I take this moment now to acknowledge this. And I'm acknowledging this also for those that show up in sacred service, serving from a place of unconditional love. And I'm giving thanks for this, showing up, whether they are doctors, or part of the medical team, or I acknowledge them as the team that supports us in the acquiring of goods to support us in sustaining our bodies and maintain our well-being. So I'm giving thanks for all of these sacred vendors and all of these businesses. And I'm giving thanks too for the reciprocity of spirit in action, knowing that as we circulate this good, that good is circulated to us also. So I'm blessing all the channels that it may show up and prosper and fulfill itself. I'm giving thanks for the balance and the harmony that is taking place and the leveling of our body temple, whether it is the affirmation of perfect wholeness in our body or whether it is the creative element, unfolding and fulfilling itself in all spaces in practical ways. I'm giving thanks for this divine blessing and this divine essence that continues to birth of itself and to show up in practical ways within our daily life and our daily experience. And what I'm calling this all is God's good. And as I call it God's good, I know that the divine law fulfills itself. It circulates itself. It brings forth the fortune, the good fortune of life. It is the good that Emma Curtis Coppin spoke of. And it is the wonderful presence that the master teacher reminded us. You too will do these things and greater things. So I'm giving thanks for the greater right now. I'm giving thanks for the conscious recognition of the greater. And I'm giving thanks for the wonderful vehicles and the ways that this goodness can expand itself. Oh, what a mighty blessing. And in this space, with gratitude, I simply release these words into the action of universal law, knowing that it has already fulfilled itself. And we affirm, Ashe, Amen, Amen. And so it is, and now it is. Ashe. I just had to pause for that moment. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to simply pray and to be a beneficial presence in the world. I'm going to invite you to tune in with us tomorrow. We have a special guest promoting a special Kwanzaa principle. And I am looking forward to you being a part of this. Have a blessed evening. Namaste.